Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Plat Winston player. I think they feel like they're a little in over their heads, so we may see some gameplay that looks a little lower than Plat, but that's okay. Hopefully we can get them up to Plat and then some. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, events we have, all that good stuff.
Round one. Capture the objective.
You should be at peak performance
Okay.
levels.
You have a Zarya, so you can go for some pretty hard dives if you're on the same page. Okay, that's not on the same page. I said you could go for hard dives, but there is no way that your Zarya has a line of sight on you, and you should know this. So this isn't necessarily a hard dive, and that I don't expect you to just get blown up, but you do want to factor in where your Zarya is, because just like you will frequently want your Zarya's bubble, your Zarya needs someone to reasonably bubble for energy, and you're not giving her that opportunity right now.
Barrier activated.
This bubble did nothing. Your bubble has to be for something specific, and you just instinctively dropped your bubble when you landed. You didn't drop the bubble to try and block a Lucio boop. You didn't drop the bubble to try and dance this Tracer's Pulse Bomb or try to keep this Tracer's Pulse Bomb out. You actually want to hold your bubble until you see something meaningful for you to block with it. You don't just want to go, I'm jumping, so now I'm going to throw my bubble down when I land. That's not automatic, because now you're rooted to where your bubble is, and look, now you can't, while in your bubble, fight the Mercy. You spent way too much ammo there. You spent too much ammo again. You're still spending too much ammo. Winston's clip is actually pretty limited. You just spent half your clip there, and you were doing damage for maybe, I don't know, a fifth of that time, a third of that time. Something in that range. So like you actually do want to, your Tesla cannon will hit people and it'll sort of continue to lock on them for a moment as they leave range, but after it stops doing so, you do want to be faster with your trigger discipline to take the hand off of it, because Winston doesn't do very much damage and he has a reload that's a meaningful length, so like avoiding those reloads if you can while you're on a target actually helps a lot for his ability to actually send people to spawn. You were early. A little better. Again, you weren't blocking anything with this bubble. And that's an example right there where Mercy had 60 health left, and, you know, if you have a little bit more ammo, that can make a difference. Instead, you had to hit this reload, and she got another 60 health back in that time. Nope, not hitting anyone with that. Yikes. Okay. Ammo management. Not usually a top priority for Winston, but going to be one for you. Okay. Oh no. That's just primal control. You'll just learn what the jumps look like. You can do regular jump distance, you can hold forward while jumping, or you can hold backward while jumping, and those will give you 3 different jump distances. And you get a little more control than that too, because after you've hit the input, when you hit the jump command, you then also have the ability to, while you're in the air, continue to sort of lean it forward a bit, pull it back a little. The biggest difference is which of the 3 jumps you hit, whether you were hitting forward, back, or nothing when you hit the actual jump button. A little bit, Nardstorm, yeah, but there's some. There's some. What? I don't really like. You were jumping at the diva here? What's the plan? So, like, you're a Winston fighting a Winston, which she's purple, I'll live. And you decide here after this reload to jump at a diva? Like, those are scary. You don't want to get in Diva's face. She hurts you. She has this big spread shotgunny style weapon that does a lot of damage to big targets like you have this Tesla cannon that hits a lot of times per second, but not for very much damage, so is actually impacted really, really negatively by armor, and she has a lot of armor. You're like the opposite of a good matchup. You don't want to jump into her face. Okay. Good. I'm glad you didn't jump on her. You walked in. Now you leap to follow her. So you walked at her because she was close. You made her guardian angel, and now you leap to follow her. Right idea. You, again, were spending a lot of Tesla cannon when you weren't actually hitting her, but right idea. Hey, Akashi. Oh, a melee weave. You're doomed. But can you jump out? No.
Once more into the breach.
Okay. That was right. You spent too much ammo and you were a little late on the pursuit jump, but that's conceptually right. That's a thing that you have to memorize for fighting Mercies. Fighting Mercies isn't your only job, because sometimes it means chasing people chasing her through way too much danger, and you do not want to, just sacrifice your own life to get her as Winston, but it is a skill that should be in your kit. So if we can start building that, that would be cool. No. This is good.
Damage output increased.
You're looking at a Mercy, and you just walk at the Mercy right now. Walk at the Mercy. No, we don't want to leap. And the reason we don't want to leap is because we want to be able to follow the Guardian Angel. She was already doing this. We want to be able to follow a Guardian Angel. By leaping here, you leaped past her. And now she's going to recover probably a good 60, probably 90 health before you're on her again. Okay, well, you primaled, so that's cheating. And I don't think you have the control to get a Mercy up in the air there. Yeah. Oh, okay. Anna does, though. You're not ready for me to explain to you how to actually do Primal Rages. In most Winston reviews that Primal Rage gets used wrong, I explain Primals, but I can tell your Winston needs other work. So instead of going into a full Primal explanation, which is not a good use of your time, I just want to say, don't hold down left click, jump on people, and then hit left click. Jump on people, then walk at them and hit left click. Jump on them, then walk at them and hit left click. Don't just hold down left click, because you will knock people away before you've gotten your landing damage. And your landing damage actually is pretty significant. Okay. I'm going to settle for that. This bubble. What's this bubble for? Who are you blocking with this bubble? Tracer's not looking at you. Diva's trying to leave. This bubble is just wasted. It's wasted. And now you don't have a bubble for 13 seconds. See how that bubble still has 646 HP? That didn't do you any good. Probably. I probably will blah, because I think this ammo is going to have a lot to do with ammo management, and that's related. And a common enough thing to matter. Okay, so this is a lot of wasted ammo. You hadn't done any damage yet, and you were down 35 ammo there. Again, don't really want this. We don't want to use our bubble to protect ourselves here like this, because this is trying to treat our bubble like it's a Rhine shield, and that's not what we want. What we'd actually do as Winston is we would work our way over here when our team is over here, so that when the team walks through, they either walk through and all get cleaved by us as they try to push at our vulnerable team, or they turn and go into us, and we still got to zap them early, and then we just leap to rejoin our team. That's what we do. We would hold opposite of our team, and we would sort of zap into them if they walk through. We wouldn't hold the direction of our team, and we wouldn't walk into the choke, because you're effectively 1v6ing right now, and you're trying to cover for that by shielding, but your shield's too valuable for that, and it's too frail for that, to be perfectly honest. No, I'm not being toxic. Well, maybe I'm being toxic, Sean. I'm just being real about what makes sense. Like, it's a very poor use of this person's time for them to learn about how to do optimal primal mechanics, because they're still working on how do I hold corners? What does my bubble usage look like? What are my 3 different jump types? How do I pursue mercies for eliminations? Why can't I get eliminations? Well, because you don't have ammo, because you're spending a lot of ammo in other places, so then they get time. Your TTK is too high because you're having to hit reloads that you shouldn't. Yeah, no, I think that'd be good. I don't think Sham can do this VOD review, but I think Sham would be fine to do. We could do a review together. He could do a review, and then I could do a review. I think it might be more interesting to bring Sham in on topics that are near and dear to his hearts, though, than VOD reviews of players that aren't pro or near pro level.
Ready for battle.
Or maybe Sham wants to do the review. That could work too. But yeah, we'll get Sham in here. Probably sometime next week, maybe. We'll have to see his schedule. Well, those are fun enough that he might want to. But do I want to give those up? I mean... Okay. This bubble was a little better. They're not amazing. Okay. You're on the Mercy. Fine. Well, okay, but now you're using your leap, and this is a little scary to me, because you're using your leap to pursue into a fair number of red enemies when you don't have your bubble available. You've still got some armor left, so this isn't a feed, and there's enough places to dodge around in here to stall to get this back, but you're scaring me a little bit here. Fortunately, none of these targets are very dangerous. I mean, Baby Mercy, Baby Mercy, Baby Diva, Mercy, and Lucio aren't actually going to eliminate you. But if those were scarier targets, that's something you'd want to consider. Okay. We just did one, Sham. That's why they're talking about it, and they're fun. Because, it's obviously not Protect the President. It's, Extreme Flanks. Okay, so I don't actually... Well, that's fine. Yeah, so you used your leap without knowing where he was. And again, we want our leap to actually take us to the target, not get us close to the target. And you used your leap to sort of get to where you thought he would be first, and you'll learn Genji. You sort of have to hold your leap for Genji's dash, because Genji will dash when you leap. And then he can poke and throw shurikens at you from further away. No, can't use our bubble like that. Can't do it. Okay. You have to leave. So you don't actually want to go after the Mercy right now. You want to be using your Primal to try to knock around the Genji who's pulled out his ultimate. Because if you knock around the Genji, he's going to struggle to get stuff done with his ultimate. Your ultimate is sort of we'll call it a soft counter for now to his ultimate, where you can go, no, Genji, I'm not going to let you. I'm going to Primal and knock you around, because if he can't get a limbs, he can't get dash resets after he uses a dash. So he dashes at something, you knock him away, and if he doesn't get the limb, he then doesn't have another dash to get back to it or to get to a new target, and you can keep knocking him away. So that would be good. Instead of the Mercy. Stay on the squishy. Yeah. Q is a lot of new Winston's panic buttons.
Into the breach.
Unfortunately, most of the time what it ends up doing for newbie Winston's is just giving the opposing team another 1,000 ult charge. 900 ult charge, whatever.
I've reached the objective. Let's coordinate.
Nope, nope, nope. Can't drop your bubble here. I know it feels like this is where I want to occupy, I want to turtle the point, etc., and the Mercy shooting and beat. But the answer to that was to just use cover to break line of sight. To use cover to break line of sight. Because if the Mercy comes in to touch the point, because you're capping point, you'll just walk on her and take her, and then when she Guardian Angels, you'll jump on top of her. But you can't drop your bubble here. I promise you can't. The cooldown is too long. Your bubble has to be to block specific stuff. Mm-hmm. Again, that bubble was while you were fighting a Winston. Winston's damage, and you know this because you're playing Winston, isn't blocked by barriers like that. So you don't want to use it there. You want to use it when, like, you're trying to block a Tracer Pulse Bomb. You're trying to block an Ana Sleep Dart. Maybe you're trying to block a McCree Flashbang. Oh, the BAP is shooting at you? Maybe you wanted to block that. Those are better uses. Oh, Diva's popping out her micro missiles. Drop your bubble and put it between you. Diva's trying to fight you and you can't get away. Drop your bubble and you actually dance back and forth to try and keep her on the other side of your bubble so that her big spread weapon isn't actually hurting you.
Excuse me for drop.
Melee, melee, melee. So when it's really high probability that you're close range and that you'll hit your melee, you actually want to mix in a melee every second. You can do 1 melee per second, and melees take half a second. So you want to, if you're going to hit the melee and you're very confident, you want to mix in melees because it makes your clip last longer. It preserves ammo without dropping your DPS at all. It's the exact same DPS against targets that don't have armor, and it's actually better DPS against targets that do have armor. But it's worse DPS if you miss melees when you would have been hitting Tesla Zap, and Tesla Zap has better range, more forgiving like that, etc. So if, a target like this Mercy that's basically standing still to res, if you're right in her face, absolutely mix in the melees. It'll preserve your clip better. Remember, we want to land on these targets, then slap them with our left click. We don't want to hit them with the left click in the air most of the time. We want to land on them and then left click. Okay. Again, that bubble isn't doing enough for us. We have plenty of health right now, and we're not being threatened by anyone that the bubble really helps us against. Okay, good! You see how that bubble was blocking micro missiles for you? The D.Va was outside of the bubble while you were zapping the D.Va? That's what you want. And walk closer to her. You didn't need the bubble. Her bunny blaster isn't that scary to you. You did want to keep trying to walk closer to her so that you could potentially try to weave in melees. Somehow you guys flipped this again?
Re-engaging. Let them up.
You're just holding down the button. We don't want that. Mercy, mercy. You're just wasting a lot of ammo there without having a target. Good. Okay. Do I have time to do another round? Yeah, okay.
Score 1-1.
Probably do half of this round and then I'll give you your summary notes.
Of course. How else can I bail you out when you...
Ready for battle. 1.
Okay, you're walking out with your Winston.
Now that's teamwork.
Got you good as new.
Are you going to jump above them and do work? So, sort of the right idea that you'd like to get above your opponents, but you can't actually zap anyone from here. So this is reasonable. This would also be reasonable, but they'd be looking in your direction. The place you actually mostly wanted to take was this place right here where the McCree is. This is what you most wanted to take from them. But you only have the option to do that if your team is pushing into fight. And as you see, your team rotated here. If your team was pushing into fight, you'd have just walked out here and been like, huzzah, and jumped to the McCree and seen if you could push him off or if he'd back out or whatever. Maybe you zap for a moment. Maybe you don't like it, so you drop and you zap these guys from behind and you use your next leap to get out. But you can't go in like this when your team rotated out, and especially if you miss the jump, you can't go in like this. Okay. Jump away, jump away, jump away. Good. You just leave. Fine.
Coming through.
You're here. Yeah, you've got enough friends. Fine. And by the time you leave, you do have enough health back.
Coming through.
No, Nardstorm. Because what happens is melees do 30 damage. Unless they changed numbers, melees do 30 damage. You can only melee once a second, and the complete melee animation takes half of a second. Tesla Cannon does 60 damage per second. So if you take away half a second to do 30 damage melee, you're still left with 60 damage per second. And if it's against armor, you're doing better because your melee is a single 30 damage hit, while your Tesla is actually many ticks, and many ticks are reduced more by armor than the single hit. So unless they change numbers, you do not get worse damage by melee weaving, no. If you start missing melees, you'll do worse, but...
Barrier up.
Right, you save ammo, which is one of the real keys. Okay.
Consider violence a last resort. Now that's
Okay,
teamwork.
play up here, good. Crouch, crouch. Okay.
Use of healing.
Okay. So now you're thinking about, well, where else can I hold? And here. Here's a good answer for where else you can hold.
Get in here.
Okay, I like it. You see, no, you see the bullet trails there, so don't push in. Don't push in. Nope. The point is you wanted to push in behind him once he walked past, so you wanted to push into the side of him once he walked past. You don't want this. Well, if he's gonna throw, nope. He wins. He wins. He should have won.
Through the miracle of science.
Watch your back.
I seem to have
You swapping? Okay.
temper.
Together.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there because this is a Winston review and I'm actually short on time. So what we're going to talk about for you, let me think for just a second. We could talk about ammo. Ammo's definitely been an issue for you. We'll definitely cover ammo. We could talk about bubbles. We'll need to talk about bubbles. We could talk about primal at a very basic level. We could talk about target selection. I think we have to talk about ammo and bubbles. So what we want to do is we want to understand that we only get 100 ammo in our clip, and that might seem like a lot, but we spend it pretty fast. And to take down most squishies in a single clip, if they're getting any amount of healing, anything's going on, we want to both land our initial leap onto them if we start with an initial leap. If we just walk up on them like we tried to walk up on that McCree, that's good, by the way, though needed to be better in how we approached. We go, hey, we get our ammo damage. And if there's an option, we get our melee weave. So we go, hey, maybe we don't get a melee weave every second, but we get melee weaves where we can to sort of preserve our clip, so that if they get any healing, if they're a mercy that's darting away from us every once in a while, we're able to go, hey, we do our damage to you, we maybe get a melee in here, you dart away, we get to leap to pursue, we land on where you are so that we get our landing damage, and hopefully we hit a melee cancel, so we melee in the air and then land. It doesn't really make the biggest difference, but we hit our melee in the air and then we land, and then we go back to zapping so that we've saved our ammo. That's what we're looking to do. You're spending a lot of ammo after your targets have left your range. And what happens is you might not know what your Tesla cannon's range is because it might feel inconsistent. What's actually happening is your Tesla cannon does have a consistent range to it, a consistent cone, but after it latches onto someone like this Mercy, I know this is your teammate, if they then leave the range, it'll stay on them for a moment. So absolutely keep firing while it stays on them for a moment, but once it unhooks from them, even if they're at that same range that it unhooked at them from, or a range that it was doing damage to them a moment ago at, it's not going to rehook on them and restart doing damage unless you get closer again. So stop firing until you're close enough to hook again. You've really got to learn this Tesla cannon range because your ammo is pretty important because you have meaningfully long reloads with Winston. So like to actually take down the 200 HP squishy heroes, if they're avoiding you at all, if they're getting any healing like that, you got to make sure you understand your range and you're not just spending a bunch of ammo electrifying the atmosphere, that you're actually getting people when you're doing it. So please make that correction. The reason I'm starting with that is you don't have any actual elimination threat right now as your Winston, or at least on Mecha Base you didn't. It got a little better here, but on Mecha Base you didn't have any real elimination threat, and that makes everything else from Winston just not work. Like, he doesn't actually have to get the eliminations, but there has to be the real threat. Like, you were chasing that Mercy around for ages and not getting anything done most of the time because you were spending so much ammo wrong. Then when it does come to chasing Mercies, because that's something that we've sort of talked about, that'll be topic 1B, it is try to walk at the Mercy to get her to Guardian Angel. Try to walk at her and damage her if she's close, even if she's a little out of range, to get her to Guardian Angel, and then you leap to pursue to finish. If you have to leap onto a Mercy to start, she's going to Guardian Angel away, and you're not going to get your leap back until she's full health again. And so you're going to leap again, and she's going to Guardian Angel away again, and then she's going to be full health again, and then you're going to do that. So you see that's not really going to work for you. Okay, the second real topic that I'm going to cover for you is your bubble usage has to be with a purpose. I know the comp you were playing against didn't have many great things to bubble, but you can't just auto bubble when you land. It can't be like, I dove Mercy and now I bubble. I dove Winston and now I bubble. You have to still go, okay, even if they're running Genji Tracer, which means I don't have great things to bubble, I'm still at least going to bubble while I'm fighting the Tracer. Or I'm going to bubble and then play around my bubble in such a way that the Genji or the Tracer is on the other side of the bubble than me. Or, in your best bubble thing, that this whole match was, I'm going to bubble to block the micro missiles. Diva starts throwing her micro missiles, I drop my bubble immediately to block those micro missiles while I zap her from in here. So I want you to think about, what am I blocking with this bubble? Not just I drop my bubble because when I drop my bubble I tend to take less damage. I want you to know specifically what you're trying to block with every single bubble that you use. That's a tall order and it's a big ask, but it'll make you better at Winston way, way faster than pretty much anything else you could be working on right now. That said, the first thing I want you to work on is your ammo management, because your Winston just isn't threatening and isn't impactful in the game until you actually have that threat, which you won't get until your ammo is properly managed. So please work on that first. Let it take up like 10-15% of your brain power to actively be thinking about your ammo and, oh wait, am I just zapping the air, for like 5 games or something, and that should fix it. And then move on to thinking very actively about, what am I blocking with this bubble every time you look to use the bubble. Okay. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, all that good stuff. Do I have quick questions I want to answer here? Q is the panic button. We're not going to cover his Qs. We covered that. Would I make any changes to Winston? Yeah, I would. I couldn't tell you what they'd be, but I would be okay with a minor Winston buff. I would also be okay, though, with nerfing the caster around him a little bit, and I don't think he really needs a buff. No, I wouldn't make Winston changes. He got a minor Winston buff. No, I wouldn't make any changes to Winston. Winston is fine right now. I'm perfectly fine with Winston right now. Primal doesn't feel super impactful these days. It still can be, but it doesn't feel as impactful as it should for the level of investment it takes. But I think Winston's seen enough minor buffs lately that he actually could be quite powerful if the meta shifts. So no, I wouldn't touch Winston right now. Good Mercies watch for your jump cooldown and punch. Weave punches in to save ammo. Yes, weave punches in to save ammo when appropriate. When you're close enough to targets that you're not going to miss the punch. Okay, that's going to do it. Sorry, I've got a jet on this one, guys, but that is the case, and I will have at least another video upload. No, I think we're doing a stream review later this evening, so I should see you